What is going on, my YouTubers and YouTubettes? It's Jahji here, and welcome back to another episode of Fallout. This is already 8 episodes in. I can't believe how fast everything is going. But today we actually have an action-packed filled episode for you. See, we're going to be covering the Clash in Italy and the June 1st episode of Monday Night Raw, the Aftermath. And unfortunately, Clash in Italy and Monday Night Raw this week were just a continuation of every single storyline that they're running right now. You see, it sucks that the WWE has been in this lull period because, as we know, the period between May through July is always the slowest when it comes to building storylines. They typically run the King and Queen of the Ring. They use this time to build up towards SummerSlam, so that's a good 2.5 months of building out a WrestleMania-esque card. And 3, the WWE are in this transition period, so right now we're frustrated that they're not pushing the young stars that we want them to push. However, we have to remember it takes time. Patience, guys. So without further ado, if you don't mind, please subscribing, liking, sharing with a friend, have that friend share with a friend, and hit that notification bell. Switch it to all so you get notified each and every time we drop not only a Fallout episode, but also a daily upload. Every single day we're uploading, guys. No days off. Let's get into it. We opened up the show, and it was what I like to call a classic wrestling match. The pace started off slow, it picked up eventually. Gunther and Cody got to hit their signature moves. There were a few times where Cody even locked in a sleeper hold on Gunther, which seems to be a theme of all of his matches ever since he lost to Jey Uso at WrestleMania. But man, Cody and Gunther are really good actors, because if I wasn't an adult, I would have completely been convinced that this was a botch. The way Gunther was like trying to reach for the bottom rope, the way Cody hooked him a second time when the ref was pinning from 2 to 3. Gunther was over here snapping at the ref, and actually it was hilarious to me. I don't know why, but just him tapping angrily, trying to get the ref's attention like, hey, hello. I was convinced even in the moment that it was a botch at first. It wasn't until afterwards that you kind of realized that this was a part of the story. You had Gunther getting into it with the referee, as you can see right on the screen. And then obviously, when you put 2 and 2 together on where they're at in the WWE season, this only makes sense towards extending the rivalry. They'll probably do the payoff at SummerSlam, in which Gunther will most likely take the title off of Cody Rhodes. And I'm sorry for you guys right now, because this is the unfortunate trend for the rest of this pay-per-view. Great matches, but it's just, as fans, we live for payoffs. And there were little to no payoff this PLE. Except for, we'll get into it. But otherwise, great action. Might not have been the payoff that we wanted, but I think this is an interesting way to develop the Gunther and Cody feud. Remember, Gunther's 3 weeks into his SmackDown run. How would it look if they were to put the title on him 3 weeks into his SmackDown run? Then we would be bored of him 6 months into his reign, because we shot him straight to the top his first month in. That's kind of been Gunther's crutch his entire career. The man has been so successful, which is crazy to say, that creative has slowly run out of interesting storylines for him. He started off with the longest IC title reign. Then they immediately shot him to the world heavyweight title scene. But even by then, they tried so hard to imitate that intercontinental title reign that his world title reign was a flop. Then you have the Legend Killer storyline, another storyline where you have this man just overpowered. Like, it's great to be dominant, but at the same time, as a wrestler, you have to show some type of weakness, because at some point we're gonna get tired of you winning all the time. We're gonna get tired of you being the final boss all the time. It's the same thing that's happened to Hogan, same thing that happened to Cena. Remember 2011, everybody, well, before his retirement run, it was the thing to literally boo John Cena. Historically, what have we shown that we love? Underdogs, Daniel Bryans, Jeff Hardys, RVDs. Those are the guys that we love to cheer for, because they're like us. They're not shown as some invincible human being. Even the greatest, most physically gifted people in real life, they have some type of crutch. They're not going to be perfect 100% of the time. And that's what I feel like the WWE has been doing with Gunther. They've been so tunnel visioned and focused on making him seem dominant that they may have overdid it. Oh, and PS, I think they're gonna find a way to fit Royce Keys into this somehow, some way between now and SummerSlam. Man, can I just say, they are doing this Charlotte push perfectly. This time last year, you couldn't pay somebody to cheer Charlotte on. Now, she's organically getting on. Yes, in my eyes, it's come at the cost of Alexa Bliss and any push that she would have gotten upon her return. But Charlotte, she's finally found a way to get the crowd on her side. And it kind of ended up working out for everybody, because this past week, the way the fans were cheering for Alexa Bliss, I feel like that went a long way in reminding creative how good of a wrestler she is and how much pull she has amongst the WWE universe. I feel like she kind of got lost in the sauce with a long-term injury. Bray Wyatt passes away, so when she comes back, she's kind of trying to figure out what her character is with or without Lily. Then at the same time, she's trying to regain momentum. So it's good to see that Alexa Bliss is getting her shine back. But man, back to the main point, Charlotte's done well, and I'm really excited to see again what comes of a Charlotte babyface run now that we're finally behind her. And in my eyes, the next championship she wins, that'll be her first earned women's title. Before then, we all had the point of view that every single world title she gained was straight off of nepotism and Roman Reigns syndrome, which is we're going to shove her down your throats until you guys like her, rather than making her earn our appreciation, which she's finally done now. Man, I know people have been giving Clash in Italy a bad name, and I know these matches didn't have any payoffs, but low-key, the way that they're building these rivalries, it has me a bit intrigued. Think about it. You have a very hot Charlotte come in to assist Rhea, so that's building the relationship between Charlotte and Rhea, which is only in the future going to lead to a match between the two. But now you also have Charlotte Flair getting involved in Jade's business, so that's going to be another heavyweight bout to look forward to. And I know we're not too high on Jade Cargill and the WWE trying to push her to the moon, but she is showing she's improving week in and week out. Her mic skills need a lot of work still. She needs to learn how to use the audience as well. But man, when she reversed that first riptide, that thing was beautiful. When she reversed it into a DDT, that showed pure athleticism right there. If she can learn how to tell a story and continue to improve on her skills, a cleaned up and polished Jade Cargill would go a long way, not just for the WWE women's division, but for the women's wrestling industry as a whole. Pertaining to the match itself, where I have the question is kind of, where do you go from here? Do you immediately have Jade feud with Charlotte, or do you continue the feud between Jade and Rhea until SummerSlam, where eventually Jade recaptures the women's title? Or do you shift immediately into Rhea versus Charlotte, which I think is counterproductive because Rhea is the most beloved woman on the women's roster today. So if you put Charlotte up against her now, it's going to destroy whatever you've been trying to build for the past year and a half with Charlotte. So I think maybe hold off on that one. Nonetheless, I think it was a pretty decent matchup, and we got another Rhea W. They didn't show it here because it was a botch, but it's funny. The reason why Charlotte came out was because the baddies had come out previously, and when Rhea was pinning Jade, Michin went to go grab her foot to put it on the rope. Or at least that's what was scripted. Michin, I guess, was too small to reach Jade's foot. So when the ref was like at 2.5, Jade just swung her foot over to the bottom rope. So that was like a little funny Easter egg if you were able to catch that. That's essentially what brought Charlotte out, and that's why Charlotte did the same thing to Jade. What the heck? I don't even think they showed all 7 F5s. They showed the first 5 and then skipped to the 7th one. And then they didn't even show Lesnar getting the win. That's ridiculous. So Lesnar in total ends up hitting 7 F5s and looks as dominant as ever. I actually brought it right back to this screen because when was the last time you seen Brock Lesnar get this high here? It hasn't been since like 2004 when he was hitting the shooting star press that he's gotten that high in the ring. It was a typical super heavyweight fight in the sense that it was a battle from the first ring. Femi got a little bit of offense in, but it was all Brock Lesnar this match. And did you expect any less? We all kind of knew that this was going to be Lesnar getting his win back, setting up a third match. Now, the question with these two becomes, what is Lesnar going to do? Is he going to retire at SummerSlam in Minnesota? Will it be Oba Femi? Well, at this point, I feel like it has to be Oba Femi. the whole Gunther and Brock Lesnar idea, that should have been scrapped a long time ago. So at this point, it has to be Oba Femi. And how are they going to get to that? Because he's currently in the King of the Ring. And by he, I mean Oba Femi. And in my eyes, and a lot of people's eyes, he's supposed to win the King of the Ring. Hence, challenging for either the World Heavyweight title or the WWE Championship. So I guess what I'm asking is either Lesnar or Femi going to have the world title going into SummerSlam? Because if not, Femi versus Lesnar 3 isn't happening this summer, which means Lesnar's extending his career, because Femi confirmed it for us that there is going to be a 3. So I don't know. I have a few questions pertaining to this feud. And not that that's a bad thing. I think that's great. It shows interest. These are two larger than life men, so anytime that they're able to step foot in the ring, I'm going to appreciate it. I don't know about you guys, and the only thing that was bad about it was that it was predictable, of course. If this was not a highlight of the show, I don't know what else was. This was probably one of the least predictable matches on the card, because you just didn't know. Becky could have walked out with the IC belt, and it would have been logical. And at the same time, if Ruka would have won that IC title, and she did, it wouldn't have been surprising either, and it would have created a great moment, which it did. First off, I'd like to give Becky Lynch her flowers. What she's done with these younger wrestlers is hands down exceptional work, and shows why if she's not the best of her generation, she's definitely top 3. And the fact that she's been able to keep credibility despite not being on this incredible win streak shows her star power. I hope that with this loss, she doesn't take some time off to maybe go film or just rest at all. I do hope that she keeps this hot streak and this heel run going. I don't want it to stop yet. If her goal is to work with all of these up-and-comers, she still has a plethora of young athletes to work with. And if it's not on Raw, then move her over to SmackDown. Imagine Becky Lynch taking control or feuding with Fatal Influence. Think about that tag team. Becky leading a stable doesn't sound bad, right? Looking at Ruka, I'm so happy for her. She's immediately come onto the roster and shown why she's one of the more beloved up-and-comers of this generation so far. Now, I'm hoping that she doesn't fall into the lull that a lot of these younger champions fall into, like Lyra Valkyria last year when she won the IC title. She won it with a lot of fanfare. Everything was great. She was putting on great matches. And then afterwards, it was kind of like, what else? She was more of a side character than a key cog champion of the show. Same thing can be said honestly for Stephanie Vaquer as well. Her world title reign started with a lot of excitement, but as it went on, it became kind of a repetitive. I'm a fighting champion. She puts on a great match, and that's it. And then it's unfortunate for her that she ends up getting hurt. So yeah, congratulations to Ruka. Let's all hope for a great title reign and that they continue to give her. Now, this was the match that left me the most confused. I don't know what I expected out of this. On one hand, I wanted Jacob Fatu to win. On the other hand, they're not gonna take the title off of Roman Reigns. Not so soon after he won it. So I'm kind of just left in the middle of, what else did you expect? It was a great match, like every other match this card. The performances weren't lacking. They were actually pretty great. It's just you wish there was a little bit more. I understand that they were taking this pay-per-view as more of a B show. If you would have just given us something extra, it might have put the pay-per-view over a little more. So Roman wins. He continues his reign, which I fully expect is going to continue until at least SummerSlam, where he should be facing Oba Femi. But then that leaves a lot of questions. See, is Jacob Fatu going to actually acknowledge Roman? Now, we're going to cover Raw, and I have some more questions after that segment over there. But for now, after this, my questions were, is Jacob actually going to fall in line? And also, they didn't show it at the end of this clip here, but as Roman and the Usos are walking away, Jacob Fatu is behind them. However, before he hits the ramp, he just stares at the MFT, and he kind of looks like a lost dog, like, damn, I don't want to do this. And Solo's just looking at him like, there's still a spot open for you, baby. Come here. And that's when Jay has to go down. And man, I like this almost Jay starting to take the authoritative role in the group. The enforcer role that Solo Sikoa used to hold when he first debuted with the Bloodline. Yeah, Jay Uso starting to take that over. He comes over to Jacob Fatu and he says, come on, what you staring at them for, Us? Come get your ass over here. I was like, damn, bro. He's been showing some aggressiveness lately, but that's a lot. But point is, now, apart from whether Fatu is going to fall in line or not, you also start to question, what role is MFT going to play? You heard Roman Reigns say, I got something for them too. What is that something? What is the MFT going to do? It's clearly going to lead to some type of family civil war. And I know you guys aren't here for it, but that first time around, I feel like it was rushed. There was really no story behind it. Now, things feel kind of like a movie. You got Roman setting up the match, talking about if I win, he falls in line. But if I lose, good luck. Making Fatu seem like a larger-than-life supervillain. And then when Fatu loses, I don't know if you guys noticed, but just his simple facial expressions. He looks like in the corner like a sad little boy. He looks like he's about to cry because he knows he has to fall in line no matter what. Even again, Jey Uso acting like this enforcer. It just, everything is starting to feel and come together like a movie to me. And I'm sorry if you don't want to hear this, but I'm kind of excited to see this Bloodline 2.0 or this Bloodline Civil War that's getting ready to happen. The only thing is, again, how the heck do they plan on squeezing in Roman versus Oba Femi if they're working on this entire Bloodline saga and Roman feuding with the MFT? A lot of questions, which is what I like. At the end of my shows, I like to have enjoyed the in-ring action, and I like to have a lot of questions. It gets me amped up for the next episode. Anyways, that was Clash in Italy, guys. Like I said, it was a PLE that was more so to build feuds, a B show. But if you enjoy that slow storytelling, then this was definitely a PLE that's more your pace. So let's not chat too much. Let's get right into Monday Night Raw, the follow-up episode.
Speaking of a loss, last night, Clash in Italy, in front of the whole world, and including my children. My children seen their father be a man, take a loss, and keep his word.
That's fair.
And last night, I lost to my tribal chief. But I didn't lose to your punk ass, Jay. But let's keep it 100. Rowan, I acknowledge you.
You don't understand this right now, Jacob. But I love you.
Enough to make a grown man cry. I felt like I was in Jacob's shoes during this segment because I felt like I was almost having to swallow my pride when he was acknowledging Rowan, according to Jacob. I'm surprised they had him fall in line so easily. Now this for sure guarantees that there's going to be some type of MFT involvement. My question is, how does that come? Is it going to be Solo coming in as almost a devil's advocate, trying to pry Jacob away? Or will it be Jacob himself seeking the MFT? Is this a part of some type of secret agenda that Jacob could have with MFT to finally take down Roman? There's a lot of dissecting to this storyline, but one thing is for sure, this little arrangement is not going to last for long. Now, unfortunately, it's WWE creative, so it very well may be the case that Jacob just simply falls in line and there's no more to it. Roman goes on to be world champion, faces Oba Femi, etc., so on and so forth. But if they're smart, This arrangement only leads to another clash between Jacob and Roman. Only this time, Jacob's gonna come geared up too, and he might just take the World Heavyweight Championship from Roman at that point. But for now, I don't know how people can't be anything but excited about this storyline. A lot of intrigue, and again, you almost feel like you're watching a movie whenever these people come on screen. Literally, the last time you've seen somebody move that fast, being that big, Femi dashed over the barricade, open palms, Hayes chest, powerbomb solo. This man he ran back outside the ring. This man did a whole lot in like 30 seconds. And again, it showed exactly why everybody's hyped up to see Oba Femi each and every week. It was a great showing post the Brock Lesnar fight, and even after this match, Femi grabbed the mic and he was like, listen, you may beat me down, you caught me on a bad night, but what did I do? I got back up and I won another match. And this was actually the segment in which he announced, I hope you're getting ready because there is going to be a third match. Like you said, it's 1-1. And I don't know if Brock Lesnar went back to college, but I just gotta say this. What's up with this dude and numbers recently? First it's F5, F4, F3, whatever it was. What was it? F555. And then now it's 1 + 1. Because he said a bad word at Clash in Italy when he beat Femi. But overall, this was a great showing, a great start to the King of the Ring tournament. Oba Femi looked as dominant as ever, and it quickly moved him past the Brock Lesnar stuff, because right now, they're not going to build up this rivalry. People were already frustrated at the fact that they were fighting again so soon. So I think the WWE Creative's goal right now is to move Femi far away from the Lesnar feud for now and have him focus on this King of the Ring. And this was a great start. With this Soruka segment, it was everything you kind of expected. It was a coronation. I think it was definitely a thumbs up in the terms of you want to give her that mic time now that she does have that belt around her waist so that she can continue to ingratiate herself with the WWE Universe. And that's going to bring me into my next point, because while this promo went well, they made one mistake. I believe you guys deserve a fighting champion. You're going to do that with Vaquer. You're going to do that with Penta. Now you're going to do it with Ruka. You did it with the with every US champion since Ilya Dragunov with the whole US challenge. We need something fresh in the mid-card division, especially when it comes to younger talent. Now this is where creative is getting lazy and where they deserve to be criticized, because it's too many times where they think they can just run the same storyline back to back to back and we won't notice. At this point, you guys have run any open challenges through the ground already. Open challenges should be done for the next 5-10 years. That's it. And this whole I'm a fighting champion thing, that's another thing that has to go, because you've used that phrase and you've worn it down. At some point, it becomes corny to hear, I'm a fighting champion, I'm a fighting champion, just to have the person lose the belt 3 months later. Yeah, they defended the title every single week on Raw or on SmackDown, but do we remember any of those matches? No. It was only good the first time around they brought it up. And there's one rivalry we remember, and that's Ilya Dragunov versus Carmelo Hayes. After that, every other open challenge they've done, name me one open challenge match that you remember. Between Vaquer, between Hayes, between Femi's now. Stop with. Have I been living under a rock? I pay attention to base. I pay attention to all sports. And I've been paying attention to this NBA playoffs. I had no idea of Danhausen's involvement with the Knicks. There's no freaking way that they're 7-0 since he uncursed them. Life sometimes is weirder than fiction, folks. I don't know how far it's gonna take them against the Spurs, because Wembanyama is... While Danhausen might be some sort of demon, Wemby's an alien out there, and that man covers every inch of the court. I'll tell you that right now. But this is so cool to see. This is a comedy act, and he's getting national coverage on First Take, and now he's getting involved with one of the biggest championships in the basketball industry. I'm shocked at how big Danhausen's becoming. Guys, there are literally top 5 wrestlers who are complete unknowns outside of the wrestling industry. Meanwhile, you have this guy telling everybody that they're cursed, and he's beloved and known by everybody in the world. Like, this is a W not just for WWE, but for us wrestling fans, because we gotta remember, it's been too many years where we go outside and we're criticized for liking wrestling, where we want to wear a wrestling shirt and we think twice real quick because the environment just doesn't call for it. So I love this normalization, this reintroduction of the WWE and wrestling overall into pop culture. I think it needs to continue to happen, and this is exactly why a character like Danhausen needs to continue to get as much TV time as possible, because whilst being a comedic act, look how much reach he's gotten, and he's an absolute joy to watch each and every week. Mysterio has somehow managed to turn the clock back to 2006. Everything from his physical look down to his ring gear looks like you pulled him straight out of SummerSlam 2006. I love each and every second of it because I feel like a kid actually watching him in the ring right now. There was a number of years there where I was watching Ray, and although he still had his athleticism, he was still great in the ring. He never lost a step in that sense. It was just something about him was like, damn, this is gonna be the end. Especially watching Dominic Mysterio continue to grow into his own. It just furthered went into giving you that inkling of this is the end of the line for Ray. And then the dude started working in AAA, or I don't know what he's done, but he looks like he's 28 all over again. In terms of the match itself, it was great. Rey Mysterio needs some wins leading up to his championship fight with Penta just to kind of help continue to build that credibility, because while he is a legend, yes, he does need to have a few wins behind him to actually make it feel like he has a chance to win the IC belt, whether he's going to win it or not. Ethan Page continues to get some shine. I love this developing relationship between Rusev and Ethan. I think they should build them up as a tag team. It'll give Ethan Page a few months to continue to grow some seasoning and get his footing on the main roster, and it gives Rusev another young talent to groom and to help Ethan fulfill his potential. Also, I think it would be great to eventually lead to a breakup between the two and then a feud. I think there are two great wrestlers who, given the right storyline, could actually capture the eyes of a lot of people. And this whole dynamic of the brute and the brains, it's a story as old as time, but when told the correct way, like I said, it creates some very intriguing TV. Yes, 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 yes. This is what we need here. IYO SKY's done everything in terms of she was given the torch, she beat Asuka, she was crowned the best women's wrestler. I think it's time we put that World Heavyweight Championship back on her. The only thing is, again, IYO gives me the type of champion where we love everything about her come up. We love everything leading up to her winning the championship. If history precedes her, once she wins it, it's kind of like, what's next? So, you guys let me know what you think, but I was thinking she wins the title and we turn her heel, baby. Imagine what a heel IYO SKY would look like, and she gets to show off her talents each and every week by bullying people. Oh yeah, I'm here for it. We've seen a babyface IYO SKY each and every week, and it's great. IYO SKY actually, believe it or not, she gives me the type of wrestler where she can be babyface her whole career and it'll work for her. But let's spice things up a little bit. Also, when it comes to characters with a bit of a language barrier, I feel like sometimes it's best to put them out in those quirky storylines so as to try and build that type of connection with the WWE universe. We love IYO SKY, yes. Would we also love to see more depth to her character? Yes. I mean, it wouldn't hurt, right? I don't know if you guys feel this way, but everything about Rollins versus Division, throw it away. I'm tired of hearing about it. I don't care for it. I barely even paid attention to this match in reality. The only reason why I do pay attention to it, even a little, is for the developing relationship between Rollins and the Street Profits. Because I've always been an advocate for SP and the WWE feeding them better storylines. But in terms of these two, I have nothing for you guys. Lord only knows when the feud is gonna actually end. I actually love how they continue to play into the Bron Breakker's a super strong guy, but he's an idiot thing. Because I don't know if it means that Rollins is smart or that Bron is an idiot. Because the dude went head first trying to spear Seth Rollins and he knocked himself out cold. It was great storytelling, but I wonder what was meant to be interpreted through that. So between Clash in Italy and Monday Night Raw, it was just a bunch of filler and building on storylines. Was the in-ring action bad? No. Were there any payoffs? Also no. But we also have to look at it historically. Whenever WWE goes overseas, very rarely do they make major creative decisions. The only time I can think of exceptions being made is when they go over to Saudi Arabia. And even then, as we remember at first, they went as far as creating fake championships. so that they don't have to make any drastic creative decisions while they're overseas. So I think if we understand that and remember that we're in the period of the WWE season where things historically do slow down in between the King of the Ring and SummerSlam, looking at all of that, it wasn't terrible programming. You'll quickly learn that I'm a glass half full type of guy. However, if we get back to the States and next week you guys don't have any type of development in this Dawkins, Vision, and Seth Rollins feud, or finally do something with Dom Mysterio, or if you fail to capitalize on the Jacob Fatu and Roman Reigns rivalry right now. Like I've said before, I love questions. I love to have a ton of questions after a show. What I don't love is uncertainty. So if you're going to go ahead and pull the trigger on MFT versus the Bloodline, go ahead and do it. Don't give me 2 months of slow teases and building up anticipation, because that's just going to build up anger. With the Vision and Seth Rollins, I need some type of major payoff next week. I need to see Angelo Dawkins back, or I need to see Tez and Seth Rollins do something major while tag teaming, not just a slight interruption, let me help you out in the last 2 minutes of the show. I need further development. Oba Femi kind of gets a pass because he's in the middle of this King of the Ring stuff, but I'd like to hear from Lesnar within the next 2 or 3 weeks. I'll give them 3 episodes of Monday Night Raw until Lesnar shows up. If not, that's another uncertainty that's putting me off. So overall, was a great weekend of action. If you're a fan of wrestling itself, you had the mask versus mask match as well, which is getting raving reviews. Actually, a lot of people are calling that the match of the year, and I have to agree. It was an excellent match. Chad Gable got unveiled as the original El Grande Americano, which, man, caught us all by surprise, right? The last thing I'll leave us with is expect more filler this Friday night on SmackDown. I don't know if they're going to be in Italy, if they're still touring Europe, but typically whenever the Monday Night Raw after a PLE is kind of bland, SmackDown tends to follow that same way. And again, we have to remember the period we're in. It's a transition period. This is probably one of the longest spaces they have in the calendar in between pay-per-views or PLEs. So naturally, they're going to slow down a lot of their feuds and really try and milk the entertainment out of them. But again, it's up to them to keep us entertained. It's not our problem to worry about their schedule and this, that, and the third. Our job is only to enjoy it and analyze it. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching, guys. I appreciate each and every one of you. If you please don't mind subscribing, liking, sharing with a friend, and have that friend share with a friend. And if you love and want to see more WWE content, baseball content, basketball content, body cam reactions, make sure you click below, because I have daily uploads for you. There's a plethora of videos for you that if you're not entertained by this one, I have plenty more in the drawer for you. So thank you so much for watching another episode of Fallout, guys. Until next time, Jahji.